I just had two very weird experiences at the grocery store, and I don't know how to process either of them. So it's the end of the workday. I have to go to the grocery store because I need to get more multivitamins. So I get there, and it's right around dinner time, so it's mobbed from all the people getting off of work. And I don't feel like dealing with the traffic of people fighting to get the closer parking spot, so I park at the very end of the parking lot where there's no other cars. I make my way inside the grocery store. I go and get my multivitamins, and then I go over to the self-checkout lanes to get in line. So there's like 3 or 4 people ahead of me that I have to wait for, but that's not the focus. The focus is on the lane next to me. That's a regular checkout lane, because there's a guy in that lane with a cart that has probably at least like 15, 20 things in it. And the girl at the register is pulling things off the conveyor belt, scanning them, and then putting them in bags. She gets to the last item. She gives the guy's total. He looks at it and goes, it's a little bit over my budget. Can we try taking this thing off? You know, she does her thing, whatever, scans it, takes it off the bill. Looks at the new total, is like, it's still a little bit too much. Here's the kicker. He doesn't stop doing that. They keep going through this cycle where he tells her, though, that thing's too much, take that off, until he got down to one item. His initial bill was like $57, and he kept saying it was too much until he got it to the point where it was like $1.72. The only item he ended up keeping was a can of Pringles, and the guy was so deadpan serious about it the entire time, nobody really knew how to react. And I think my favorite part was that after he finished and paid for it, he popped the can open and just started eating the Pringles right in the store. He didn't even wait to leave. But anyway, he gets done right around the time one of the self-checkout registers opens up. So I walk up to the register, and right as I walk up to mine, there's one next to me. Another gentleman walks up to that register with a cart. He only had one item. It was one of those Reese's peanut butter eggs that's like this big, just sitting in the center of the cart. And so I'm trying to mind my business, but it's just so obscure, and there's something comical about it to me that I'm paying attention to it. He gently reaches into the cart, delicately picks up the peanut butter cup, scans it, very gently places it into a bag, then with 2 fingers on each hand, gently picks up the bag and softly sets it back into the cart. So I pay for my vitamins at the same time he's paying for his little peanut butter egg, and we finish up and we're walking out of the store at the same time. So I'm behind him, and he stops in the breezeway, and I think he's like gonna put the cart to the side and grab his bag to walk out. No, he was just making sure his wallet was in his pocket, and then proceeds to walk out into the parking lot, pushing a cart with just a single peanut butter egg in it. So we are walking down the same lane. I'm on one side, he's on the other side, directly across from me. Reminder, I parked at the very back of the parking lot. I continue to walk, and he's walking along with me the entire time. And it turns out I was fortunate enough that he parked at the very back of the parking lot, just like I did, directly across from me. This man pushed the peanut butter cup all the way through the parking lot to the very back. So I get into my car, I start it. Now I backed into my parking spot, and I am facing the back of his car. I watch him gently pick up this peanut butter cup in a bag, and he puts it into a black basket in the trunk of his car. He closes the trunk, he gets in the car. So one little problem, he left the cart just sitting behind his car, and he couldn't drive forward to get out of the spot because there was a curb and grass. He pops the car in reverse, slams back, hits the cart, it flips on its side and almost hits the front of my car, and then he burns out of the parking lot. So yeah, 2 very bizarre situations that happened back to back at the same place. But I'm gonna be honest with you, with the way things are going in the world right now, I kind of think I needed to see that today. Like, that really just did it for me.